quality of a vehicle's paint finish is important to a customer's overall satisfaction. And that's why Chrysler maintains such high standards for the appearance and durability of the finishes applied to our vehicles. But occasionally, defects can occur that require repairing the vehicle's finish to restore customer satisfaction. One type of defect is paint delamination. Paint delamination is caused by the sun's ultraviolet rays penetrating through the finish, causing the clear coat or base coat to flake, or sometimes peel away from the primer undercoat. This video demonstrates how to identify the extent of the damage and determine the proper repair procedure. Basically, there are two levels of repair procedures depending on how the base coat clear coat is adhering to the factory primer or E-coat. In cases where adhesion of the base coat is good, the repair area can be feather-edged with an orbital sander, primed, sanded, sealed, and repainted. In cases of poor adhesion, where both the clear coat and base coat are peeling away from the undercoat, it will require stripping of the clear coat and base coat down to the primer. So the first step of the repair procedure is to perform an adhesion test, both on the visibly affected areas and on panels not yet showing any delamination. This will determine the severity of the delamination and how much of the vehicle needs to be refinished. Follow these steps. Wash the vehicle with soap and water. Rinse. Then clean the affected panels with a wax and grease remover, such as PPG's DX330 or DX380 in areas where VOC regulations are in effect. Check adhesion using the cross-hatch adhesion test. Using a steel rule or scale as a guide, hold a razor blade at a straight vertical angle and score the paint film down to the metal. Make 4 or 5 cuts, each approximately 1/8 inch apart. Then, like in tic-tac-toe, make another 4 to 5 cuts in the opposite direction, across the first cuts. Now place a piece of 2-inch masking tape over the cross-hatched area. Press the tape down firmly to make sure the tape adheres. Then pull the masking tape away quickly. Take a look at the cross-hatched finish and the tape. If only clear coat has been removed, it will appear as a clear film on the tape. If none of the base coat color was removed by the tape, no stripping will be required. You can proceed to feather edge, prime, sand, seal, and repaint. If no damage is visible on a vertical surface, yet a horizontal surface like the hood or roof reveals poor adhesion, you still should perform an adhesion test on a vertical panel, just to be sure. It's a good idea to perform an adhesion test high enough on the vertical panel so that if it shows good adhesion, you can repair the test area while you repair the horizontal panels. Make sure to perform more than one adhesion test on the affected panel and on adjacent panels not showing the condition. Occasionally, the crosshatch test will reveal poor adhesion of the base coat. In this example, we can see that the adhesive tape removed both the base coat and clear coat from the center of the squares, exposing the primer. Therefore, adhesion is poor and stripping will be required. If an adhesion test reveals poor adhesion on a vertical panel surface, it will require stripping to the primer and repainting the entire vehicle or down to the nearest break point. Now let's take a look at how to repair paint delamination. Your first concern should be safety, so always read the safety precautions on the MSDS sheets and product labels. And always wear the proper protective clothing and the appropriate respiratory protection when working with refinish materials. Let's look at making a repair when a vehicle's finish has poor adhesion and the base coat is peeling away from the primer. This situation requires stripping affected panels down to the primer. A word of caution: many new Chrysler vehicles have plastic or composite substrates, so be sure to identify the substrate on the panel you're working with before repairing the finish. One way of identifying the substrate is to refer to PPG's Plastic Identification and Refinishing Manual, available through your local PPG distributor. The first step is protecting all necessary hardware, molding, and trim, and mask off all other areas. Then remove both the base coat and clear coat on all affected panels. The finish can be removed either by DA sanding using 80 to 120 grit paper, carefully using a razor blade, or by the plastic media blasting method. Also prepare the finish on any upper vertical panels where an adhesion test was performed. This vehicle demonstrates good adhesion on the vertical surfaces, therefore stripping is not required. Do not use a liquid chemical stripper, because you want to maintain as much of the original primer as possible. Blow off and re-clean with wax and grease remover. Now you want to seal all stripped areas with one coat of an anti-corrosion primer, such as PPG's DP Epoxy Primer or DX1791 Self-Etching Primer. Remember, always prepare the adjacent panels for blending to ensure a good color match. If filling is required to level the surface, apply 2 to 3 coats of a 2-component primer surfacer, such as PPG's K36 primer. Use DCP21 in low VOC regulated areas. Make sure to guide coat all primed areas using a contrasting color material. After the primer surfacer has dried properly, sand all areas that have been primed using 400 grit paper, followed by 600 grit. Blow off and re-clean with wax and grease remover. Then apply one coat of a 2-component sealer, such as PPG's NCS 247, 230, or DP primer. Now you're ready for the base coat. To help assure good color match, make sure to take advantage of any color matching tools available from the paint manufacturer, such as PPG's Color Variance decks, which offer alternate paint formula choices for vehicles with finishes that vary from the OEM color standards. Or PPG's Profit computerized color analyzer, which can read the actual color of the vehicle and adjust a paint formula to achieve a blendable match. It's available through participating PPG distributors. If your test panel doesn't match, there are a variety of ways to adjust the color. One way is by adjusting your spray equipment. To make a color lighter, you can do one or more of the following: increase air pressure, use a smaller size fluid tip, adjust the fluid adjustment valve for reduced flow, or the spreader adjustment valve for increased fan width. To make a color darker, do the opposite, such as decreasing air pressure. The type and amount of the reducer you're using can also affect the color match. To make a color lighter, use a faster evaporating reducer, or increase the volume. Do the opposite to darken the color. You can also adjust your spray technique. To make a color lighter, you can increase the distance of the gun, or the gun's speed. For a darker color, decrease the gun's distance and/or speed. After checking color match with test panels, apply 2 to 3 coats of the base coat color, such as PPG's Deltron DBU or DBC. Once hiding is achieved, let the base coat dry properly, and you're ready for the clear coat. Apply 2 to 3 coats of a 2-component urethane clear coat, such as PPG's DCU 2020 or DCU 2001. Allow the finish to dry properly. Then, finesse polish if necessary before delivery to the customer. That's how you perform a repair when a vehicle's finish has poor adhesion and the base coat is peeling away from the primer. Now let's look at the repair procedure for cases where only the clear coat shows delamination. Remember, this type of repair will not require stripping. The first step is protecting all necessary hardware, molding, and trim, and mask off all other areas. Sand and feather edge the affected area using a DA sander and 240 to 320 grit paper, followed by 400 to 600 grit. Blow off the residue with compressed air. Then re-clean with wax and grease remover. If bare metal is exposed, apply one coat of an anti-corrosion primer, such as PPG's DP Epoxy Primer or DX1791 Self-Etching Primer. DCP-21 may be used for low VOC regulated areas. If filling is required to level the surface, apply 2 to 3 coats of a 2-component primer surfacer, such as PPG's K36 primer, or additional coats of DCP-21 for low VOC regulated areas. Make sure to guide coat all primed areas using a contrasting color material. After the primer surfacer has dried properly, sand all areas that have been primed using 400 grit paper, followed by 600 grit. If sanding by machine, be careful to keep the sanding pad level with the surface. Blow off with compressed air and re-clean with wax and grease remover. Then tack off the repair area. Next, apply one coat of a 2-component sealer, such as PPG's NCS 247, 230, or DP primer. You're now ready for the base coat. Once you're sure of a color match, apply 2 to 3 coats of the base coat color, such as PPG's Deltron DBU or DBC. Once hiding is achieved, let the base coat dry properly, and you're ready for the clear coat. Apply 2 to 3 coats of a 2-component urethane clear coat, such as PPG's DCU 2020 or DCU 2001. Allow the clear coat to air dry properly, and finesse polish if necessary before delivery to the customer. That's how you perform a clear coat delamination repair where adhesion of the base coat is good. By taking care to follow these procedures correctly, you can help assure that Chrysler Corporation vehicles maintain their high level of customer satisfaction.